Hey peoples, welcome to the latest Zenith update. Not a great deal to talk about this time, but I like to keep people up on what's going on. Again, I don't have any new footage to really show you, so we've got me playing Soundless Mountain 2 running in the background. It's a really cool little game that's definitely worth checking out. It's free to play. It's by the guy that did Lone Survivor. If you know that, you might know that, I don't know. And it's PC keyboard controlled. Anyway, let's get on with the update. So I have now finished all of the additional content for the physical editions of Silent Hill Requiem, and what I'm going to do next is, through working on these extra content videos, I've been taking sort of segments from the film to use in these, you know, the making of and the question and answers section. And some of the shots I want to go back in and slightly clean up. One of the biggest feedbacks I got from Silent Hill Requiem was people didn't really seem to like the kind of old film filter that I put on top. And in certain places I can agree it's a little bit too intense. So what I'm going to do this week is go to those shots and just tidy them up a bit. And that means that there will be, say, an enhanced version of Silent Hill Requiem. Now, for those of you that have already got the digital copy of Silent Hill Requiem, what I'll be doing with this new enhanced version is re-uploading it to my Mediafire account, and then I will blanket email all of you a link to that so that you can then download this new enhanced edition if you choose to. There is going to be no alterations made to the edit or anything else. This is purely going to be just a few visual touch-ups that I want to do just to feel within myself that this film is 100% finished and I don't need to ever touch it again. That version will then be on the DVDs and the Blu-rays. Now, in reference to the Blu-rays versus the DVD, now obviously you can fit far more stuff on the Blu-ray than you can the DVD. Now, what I want to do is make sure that there is no discrepancies between the Blu-ray and the DVD versions, but there may be content problems in terms of space. You're talking a 20 gig Blu-ray versus a 4 gig DVD. So what I'm thinking as a way to get around any problems I may have is that the DVD will have as much content as I can get on it, and any content that I can't get on the DVD, I will be making a special page on my website, a private page, that those of you that have wanted a DVD copy, you'll have a password with your DVD that allows you to access this special page on my website, so that any content I couldn't cram onto that DVD will be there available to you. So what I want to get on the DVD is the film, obviously, the making of featurette, which is around 45 minutes long, the blooper reel, which is about 10 minutes long, and the Q&A section, which is again another 40 minutes. I want to definitely get those three things, as well as the film, onto the DVD. The film itself will have English subtitles, Portuguese subtitles, Brazilian Portuguese subtitles, and Spanish subtitles. There will also be a director's commentary with me and Olwyn doing that together. The additional content will have only English subtitles, because that's all I can do. The people that did me the subtitles for the movie in Portuguese and Spanish, they weren't paid to do that, so that's all I could really ask of them. So the additional content will be in English because I'm the one narrating it, and there will be English subtitles for that as well, but that's it. I'm going to try my best to cram everything I can onto that DVD, whereas with the Blu-ray I don't foresee having any issues getting all of the content onto it that I want to get onto it. So those of you that have wanted a DVD version, granted this was like 3 years ago when you said that you wanted a DVD, if by some means you now would prefer to have the Blu-ray edition, drop me an email, zenithfilmsuk@gmail.com, just telling me your name, the name you used when you donated, and that you want to go from a DVD to a Blu-ray, and that's fine, it's easily done. If you still want that DVD because that's the only way you can watch it, that's fine too, and you know, I'm going to try my best to make it work for you as I can. Now, in terms of the additional content for the physical editions, there's going to be a 12-month exclusivity on this extra content. So those of you that have got the Blu-ray and the DVD, that is all for you for 12 months. No one else is going to see it unless they've got a physical edition. Then after that 12 months are up, I will be releasing that onto YouTube. Now, if any of you have got a problem with that, now's the time to tell me. Because if you want this stuff to just be exclusive, and if every one of you that has got a physical edition says, no, I want this stuff exclusive to the physical edition, don't be released on YouTube, then we'll go into a dialogue and we'll discuss. You know, I don't want to do anything that's going to piss anybody off. But I thought maybe a 12-month exclusivity would be good, but you know, if that's a problem, let's talk about it. So this week I'm going to be tidying up Silent Hill Requiem, and then comes building the Blu-ray / DVD, and I'm using a piece of software to do that with. I haven't used this software in a while, so I'm probably gonna have a few teething problems working with it, but you know, that's just the way it is. And I am aiming to have these physical editions finished in August, and then off they go. So my goal is that all of you that wanted the physical edition will have it before this year's Halloween. So then you've got something to watch on Halloween. Maybe show your friends. I don't know. That's up to you. And that's pretty much all I need to tell you about physical editions of Silent Hill Requiem. And then that's it. That's done. It's all done. It's all nice and neat. You know, it took me 4 years. Okay, well, you may have seen this or you may not have seen this yet, but the thank you video, which I made when we were fully crowdfunded back in 2014, was a music video of Olwyn as Cheryl miming to You're Not Here, and throughout the video they were like cutaways to scenes from the original proof of concept. The original proof of concept obviously had Della Day playing Cheryl, not Olwyn. I have re-edited that and it's currently available on the channel, so if you've not seen it yet, there will be a card now that will link you straight to it. There'll also be a link in the description below. Basically what I've done is I have just improved it. I've rekeyed everything, I've re-edited it so it, you know, I find it matches the song a bit better than it originally did, and all the cutaway shots are now from the final film. And it's also kind of working now as a kind of pseudo advertisement for Silent Hill Requiem to try and encourage more donations for Silent Hill Lazarus. So if you've not seen that, go and have a look. It's using the original green art style rather than the blue, and it's pretty much the same thing, just reduxed. Speaking of Silent Hill Lazarus, I got into a discussion with people on my pages about the art style of Silent Hill Lazarus and about my art style for my projects moving forward. You see, up until this point I have used a very highly saturated and very sort of like single colour, shall we say, approach to my art style, and there's two reasons for that. One, I like it because I'm a big fan of graphic novels, and that was kind of where I kind of fell when I was trying to come up with the idea of how to make my films look distinctive. But two, there was actually a technical reason for that. Back when I started working on green screen, you know, I was amateur, I was fledgling, and the only way I found that to be able to make my actors and my backgrounds merge was to use this kind of single colour art style. It helps when people are watching it, it helps sort of blend the actors and the backgrounds together, so there's not that kind of superimposed look you can get with green screen footage. Many times I've shown scenes from my projects to people and they've asked me, how did I get that set, or how did I get access to such a thing, and it's like, no, it's all on green screen, which, you know, is good for me. But one thing I do understand is that my art style is incredibly polarizing. You know, you either love it or you hate it, and there is no real middle ground, and that's fine. You know, I'm not bothered If you don't like my art style, well then that's your choice, and if you do like my art style, then great, you're going to enjoy what you're watching. But what I would like to try and do moving forward is not stop using my art style, because you know that's what I feel makes my work distinctive, and like I said, I like using my art style. I want to try and inject more colour into my work. So I got into this discussion with in regards to Silent Hill Lazarus with people on my group page and on my fan page on Facebook and my patrons on Patreon about adjusting the art style for Silent Hill Lazarus, not completely removing away from that icy blue colour that I was going with, but to use that icy blue colour specifically for sections when the characters find themselves in like the other world or the limbo world, etc. And then for scenes when they're not having to deal with, you know, the deserts of Silent Hill, to have it much more a richer kind of colour with more colours within it. And I'd actually used this art style for my poster of Olwen when she was cosplaying Linda Rota from Zombie Revenge, so I kind of used that and slightly brightened it up, and I made this image here. So on the left you see the original art style, on the right you see the new, and basically put it out to people. What do people think? You know, should I just totally stick with what I've been doing before and just go full on with my art style, or should I start injecting more colour and in a way make my work somewhat more appealing to those people that don't like my harsher, saturated art style? You know, I'm not trying to kowtow to people that don't like my work. That's not the idea. It's just that I'm trying to make the doorway a little bit more open for people that see my art style and just immediately turn the nose up and walk the other way without even giving the work chance, you know, to be watched. But I want to try and, not like I said, I don't want to change the whole thing into this one art style, but I just want to try and, like I said, make a gateway for people that are more put off by that kind of Sin City kind of art style. And like I said, it's not for everyone, and that's totally fine. You're not wrong to not like something, you know. So yeah, if any of you have got any opinions on this, you know, leave them down in the comments below. Speaking of changing art styles and that, I recently did a poster for a very old project. It's actually the second project me and Olwen actually worked on. The first one being Episode, and then after filming her role in Episode, we also filmed another short film called Nancy Wake. Here's the poster. Now, Nancy Wake is a sort of prequel to my other World War II film Violet Rain, which is based on the video game Velvet Assassin. Now, the idea of Nancy Wake is, again, Nancy Wake is a real spy from World War II, and she was a great tactician. Stories vary about whether she actually had a role in actually fighting and stuff. Some say she did, some say she didn't. You know, sometimes it's tough to find genuine articles, especially on the internet these days. But again, I wanted to go back into that and just play around with the art style, and I ended on this poster here. And again, I mean, trying to interject more colour. So the reason why I'm showing you this is I'm trying to show you that I'm trying to move forward with my art style. I believe I've got to a point now in my work that I don't have to rely so much on that saturated look to hide the fact that it's not a real background. I believe I've got to a point now where I can still convince you of the reality within the film. At least I think so. I could be totally wrong. Speaking of other projects, I am still working on the script to TLE. It's changed a few times since last I spoke to you, as I get new ideas and remove older ideas that I'm not quite liking of. One new idea is for the character I play in the film. Now, originally I was going to make the character look very similar to how I looked in Silent Hill Requiem, but with E3 just finished and the recent reveal of the new Devil May Cry game, my moderator on my fan page and on my Twitch, Swifty Keen, is a big fan of Devil May Cry, and she's been streaming the games, and watching them I was just like, I really like Dante's kind of look, you know, the kind of silvery white hair. So I just quickly ordered a £10 Dante, you know, quotes, Dante wig from China just to see how it would look. And here's the result here. So if you've got any opinions on that, I'd be greatly appreciated. This won't be the wig I'll actually use in TLE. I just wanted to look at would the kind of whitish hair suit my face. And when we actually do film TLE next year, I will most definitely buy a better wig. Okay, so let's move on. Zenithfilms Play is still ongoing. I'm still streaming. I'm streaming as much as I can, sometimes on my official days and sometimes off my official days. It's really hot here in the UK at the moment, so this room I'm in gets really hot, so I have been neglecting my streaming duties, shall we say, but it seems to be working. I don't seem to be raising any more sort of popularity on Twitch, shall we say, but the archive videos I'm putting on YouTube are still getting a good amount of hits, so fingers crossed this is going to raise my watch time, so hopefully YouTube will soon be reviewing my channel to give me back my monetization, which is what the whole Zenithfilms Play was all about. Zenithfilms reviews. I'll be honest with you, I haven't started them yet. I've been so busy trying to get all the additional content for Silent Hill Requiem done. Everything has pretty much been Silent Hill Requiem. When I've got off time, it's Zenithfilms Play. I just want to get these DVDs and Blu-rays done and out to people so that, you know, everybody's satisfied that they got what they wanted. So this month I'm going to try and write the review for Blade Runner and then hopefully get that up for August as well. And that's pretty much all the news. What I'll leave you with is if you want to keep supporting me and Zenithfilms, you've got several different ways of doing that, but one major way would be becoming patrons on my Patreon page. So yes, I'm going to shill for a bit here, so if you don't want to hear me shill, now's the time to leave. I now have 8 patrons on Patreon, and they are raising $112 a month, which, as I said last time, is amazing because that's basically a day's worth of actor for me to hire. So I just hope that keeps continuing, and I hope that keeps growing. And there's a $1 tier through to a $50 tier. So if you really want to help support Zenithfilms financially, that's the way to do it. All donations on Patreon go into work. I don't take any of the Patreon money for myself. It is purely there so that I've got money to pay actors, to pay costume designers, to pay musicians, to buy props, to hire spaces, to buy better green cloth, to buy better lights, you know, to eventually buy a better camera. That's what that money on Patreon is for. It's not for me, it's for the work. Just thought I'd clarify that. But otherwise, that will be the conclusion to this month's or bi-monthly, I'm not too sure when the last one was, Zenith update. And just before we wrap up, I'd just like to say thank you to my patrons over on Patreon. Andrew Key, Sylvia Garcia, Jason S. Perry, Marius Joachim Orth, Stephen Brevage, Jenny Newmanen, Amy Ballard, Everything Horror Podcast. Thank you for listening. I hope this has been informative for you on things that you need to know. And hopefully the next time I speak to you, the Silent Hill Requiem physical editions will be done and out in the wild. And the first episode of Zenithfilms Review will be up. And that's pretty much it. So, as always, thank you for your support. It means the world to me and my team. And I will catch you on the next Zenith update. Have a great rest of your week, or have a great weekend, or have a great whatever it is where you are right now. All the best.
If you should stumble, ain't no need to feel ashamed, babe. Lift your head up.